Most people who start a garden never eat anything they grew themselves. Not because they failed, not because gardening is hard, because nobody told them which crops to start with. They plant tomatoes in March. They wait 90 days. Something goes wrong around week 6, and they quit, convinced that growing food just isn't for them. But here's what those people never found out. There are crops that go from seed to your plate in under 30 days. And I'm not talking about some obscure plant you've never heard of. I'm talking about food you already eat. Food that costs almost nothing to grow. Food that, once you understand how it works, you'll never stop producing. And by the end of this video, I'm going to show you something about one of these crops that will completely change how you think about growing your own food. The numbers are almost unbelievable. But first, let's talk about why your first 30 days in the garden might be the most important 30 days of your entire growing life. Think about the last time you walked through a grocery store and looked at the price of fresh greens. Bagged arugula, baby spinach, a small clamshell of lettuce. Prices that didn't exist 3 years ago. Maybe you felt that low-level frustration, that quiet thought, I should just grow this myself. That feeling is exactly right. And the only thing standing between you and acting on it is knowing where to start. This video is where you start. Crop number 1, radishes. The first crop on this list is the fastest maturing vegetable that exists in nature. Certain varieties of radish are ready to pull from the ground in 22 days. Not weeks, not a month, 22 days from seed. The Cherry Belle variety hits that mark consistently. French breakfast radishes are ready at 28 days. There's even a French heirloom called de 18 jours, literally translated as of 18 days, that under good conditions is ready in under 3 weeks. Now here's where it gets interesting. Most people think of radishes as a garnish, something you slice thin and forget about. But radishes are actually one of the most nutrient-dense foods you can grow. Research shows radishes have a Nutrivore score of 5,863, placing them among the most nutritionally valuable vegetables per calorie on the planet, at just 19 calories per cup. That's not a hobby crop, that's a serious food. And here's something most beginners don't know. When you grow radishes, you're actually growing 2 crops at once. The greens are completely edible. Research shows that radish leaves contain higher levels of protein, dietary fiber, and vitamin C than the root itself. Sauté them in olive oil with garlic. Add them to a soup. They're not a byproduct, they're a bonus harvest. Here's how to grow them correctly. Sow seeds directly into the ground, never transplant. Push them 1/4 inch deep, 1 inch apart. Radishes need loose, well-drained soil. Compacted clay produces misshapen, pithy roots. If your soil is heavy, grow them in a raised bed or deep container. Water consistently. This is the single most important thing. Inconsistent moisture, dry, then wet, then dry again, is what makes radishes turn hollow and bitter inside. Even moisture produces crisp, clean roots. Grow them in cool weather, spring and fall only. Heat makes them bolt fast. And once you pull your first batch, plant another immediately. Succession sow every 10 to 14 days, and you'll have fresh radishes continuously through the entire cool season. That is your first taste of what a real food production system feels like. Crop number 2, arugula. Here's a belief most beginning gardeners have. Once you harvest a plant, it's done. Pull it up, plant something new, start over. That belief is costing you most of your potential harvest. Because the second crop on this list breaks that rule entirely. Arugula, baby leaves ready in 21 to 28 days, can be harvested, cut, and come again 4 times from a single sowing. You plant once, you harvest 4 times from the same plants. The plant regrows from the center after every cut. Here's the technique exactly. Take only the outside leaves. Start from the outer ring of each plant. Cut all the way down to the base of those outer leaves. Never remove more than 1/3 of the plant at one time. The inner leaves keep growing. By the time you've worked through your whole bed, the first plants are already regenerating. 1 sowing, 4 harvests. That's the kind of efficiency that changes how you think about your garden's actual output. Think about that for a second. How many crops in your life have worked that hard for you? Now here's something worth knowing that almost nobody mentions. Arugula is notorious for self-sowing. If you let a few plants go to seed at the end of the season, they'll drop seeds into your soil and come back on their own next season. 1 packet of seeds, managed correctly, can supply you for multiple growing seasons at no additional cost. Scatter seeds directly in cool soil, 1/4 inch deep. For cut and come again production, plant 1 seed per square inch. Water consistently. Mulch lightly to retain moisture and keep roots cool. One more thing, and this connects to something I mentioned in the hook that I want to come back to before this video is over. Growing food that regenerates itself, food that gives you more than you put in, is the core of what food security actually looks like at the personal level. Stay with me on that idea. We'll come back to it. Crop number 3, loose leaf lettuce. Third crop, and I want you to pay attention to one specific word here, loose leaf. Not head lettuce, not romaine, loose leaf. Here's why that distinction matters more than most people realize. Head lettuce requires you to wait for the entire head to form before you can harvest anything. You're waiting 60, 70, sometimes 80 days for a single harvest from a single plant. Loose leaf lettuce changes the entire math. Varieties like oak leaf, Lolo Rosso, and salad bowl produce harvestable baby leaves in 30 to 45 days. And like arugula, you harvest the outer leaves and the plant keeps producing from the center. You're never waiting for the whole plant to finish. You're drawing from a living, continuous supply. From a single 4x4 raised bed, a space barely bigger than a coffee table, succession planted every 2 to 3 weeks through the cool season, a family can supply most of their fresh salad greens for months. Here's the question worth asking yourself right now. How much money do you spend on bagged salad greens in a year? A conservative estimate for the average household runs over $300 annually. A packet of loose leaf lettuce seeds costs under $3. Spacing matters, and most beginners get this wrong. Harvesting at baby leaf stage, 30 days, plant densely. 9 plants per square foot works well. If you're growing them slightly larger, space 4 to 5 plants per square foot. Denser planting for early harvest means more food from less space. Lettuce has shallow roots, which is actually a significant advantage. You can grow it in almost any container, raised bed, or window box. It doesn't need deep soil. It needs consistent moisture and at least 6 hours of light. One warning: when temperatures push consistently above 75 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit, lettuce bolts. The leaves turn bitter, a seed stalk shoots up, and the harvest window closes. Grow it in spring and fall. In hotter regions, plant in spots with afternoon shade to extend your season. Crop number 4, spinach. The fourth crop is spinach, and I want to talk about this one differently, not just as a fast grower, but as probably the most strategically valuable crop on this entire list. Some spinach varieties are genuinely ready in 30 days, but the real reason spinach belongs in every beginner's garden goes beyond speed. Spinach is frost hardy. It can handle temperatures down to 15 degrees Fahrenheit under a simple cold frame. That means you can plant it earlier in spring than almost any other food crop. And you can plant it in late summer to carry your harvest deep into fall, and in milder climates, through winter entirely. Think about what that means practically. While every other crop in your garden has shut down for the season, spinach keeps producing. The gap in your food production, the months when nothing is growing, gets bridged by one crop that most people never think to use that way. The variety's worth knowing as a beginner. Bloomsdale is reliable and classic. Tyee and Melody are both bolt resistant, which gives you a longer harvest window in spring before heat forces them to seed. These are the varieties that give you time, and time in gardening means more food. Grow spinach in well-amended soil. Direct sow seeds 1/2 inch deep. Spinach prefers cooler soil temperatures, ideally between 45 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit for germination. Consistent moisture is key. Mulching around your plants retains that moisture and keeps roots cool, both of which delay bolting and extend your harvest window. Stagger plantings every 2 weeks. Each sowing gives you a fresh wave of harvest. Stack 3 or 4 batches and you have near continuous spinach production through the entire cool season. And here's the versatility point that matters. Spinach integrates into almost every meal. Raw in salads, wilted in eggs, blended into smoothies, cooked into soups, frozen for long-term storage. No other crop on this list gives you that many options for how you actually use it. If this video is giving you real, actionable information, share it with someone who's been thinking about starting a garden but hasn't made the move yet. They could be harvesting in 30 days if they start this week. Crop number 5, microgreens. Remember at the start of this video, I told you there was something about one of these crops that would change how you think about growing food. This is it. The 5th crop doesn't go in the ground. It doesn't need a garden bed. It doesn't need spring or fall or even a window that faces the right direction. It produces food in your kitchen, in January, in an apartment, with no outdoor space at all. Microgreens. And here's the number I promised you. Radish microgreens, the seedlings of the same radish plant we talked about earlier, have been shown to contain up to 40 times more nutrients than the fully mature radish root. 40 times. That's the science of the seedling stage. At that moment of early growth, the plant has packed everything it needs to become a full plant into a tiny package. And you're harvesting it at peak density, before any of that nutritional concentration is diluted into full growth. 10 to 21 days. That's your harvest window from seed. Here's the setup, and it's genuinely simple. Get a standard 10 by 20 growing tray. Fill it with a thin layer of potting mix or coconut coir. Spread seeds densely and evenly across the entire surface. Mist well. Stack a second tray on top to create darkness. This encourages fast, strong germination. Check daily. Once seedlings are pushing up against the top tray, remove it and move to a bright windowsill or under a basic grow light. Harvest when seedlings are 1 to 1.5 inches tall. Use a sharp knife. Cut cleanly at soil level. Best varieties for beginners. Sunflower and pea shoots are the most forgiving and most satisfying. Radish microgreens are among the fastest at 8 to 12 days with an intense peppery flavor. Broccoli and kale microgreens take slightly longer, but deliver exceptional nutritional density. Now here's the strategy that turns this from a one-time experiment into a real food system. Start a new tray every week. By the time you're harvesting tray 1, tray 2 is pushing up. By the time tray 2 is done, tray 3 is almost ready. You've just built a continuous indoor supply of the most nutrient-dense fresh food you can produce, at a cost of pennies per tray, regardless of the season, the weather, or what's happening in the outside world. That is food independence. Not theoretically, not someday, right now. From your kitchen counter. 5 crops. Every one of them harvestable in 30 days or less. Every one of them proven, real, and genuinely beginner-friendly. But I want to end with something that goes beyond the list. There's a reason people who start growing their own food rarely stop. It's not because it saves money, though it does. It's not even because the food tastes better, though it does, enormously. It's because of how it feels to walk outside or into your kitchen and harvest something you grew. That feeling is control. Real, tangible, earned control over one small part of your life that the outside world cannot take from you. Prices go up, supply chains break, shelves run thin, and you walk out to your garden and you cut fresh greens for dinner. That's not a hobby. That's a different relationship with the world. Your first harvest is 30 days away. Start this week.